craziest week of my life. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Justine, and as of today, I am a sophomore. As of yesterday, I was just a freshman taking lots of finals. I have talked to many adults in my life about finals week and how lots of them have recurring nightmares that revolve around finals week. Which to me is a little concerning that this will have permanent psychological damage on me, but you know what? It's fine. So today I'm going to take you on the insane journey of my freshman final week. Leading up to finals, I was so beyond stressed about it because I felt like I had to learn everything for most of my classes like days before my final. We had to make up a bunch of snow days, so we actually went after Memorial Day, which sucked, for the record. So my finals week actually started last Thursday, and my first final was part 1 of my English final. Now for English, we had to read this book called The Crucible, and if you've never been forced to read this book, basically it takes place in like the 1600s and there's witch trials. People are being accused of being witches and getting killed. It is wild stuff. So my assignment for my final was to write an essay about the Crucible and one of the themes. And you know what? I felt pretty good about this one. Good morning. It is Thursday, which is kicking off finals week. I'm so excited to take a bunch of high stress tests for days and days on end. Today I have my first final, which is part 1 of my English final. I'm not that worried about it, honestly, because I have to write an essay, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I can write a pretty good essay. My backpack weighs a good, like, I don't know, 20 pounds today, so not only am I gonna be stressed, but I'm also gonna have back problems. The first part of my English final went swimmingly. So we were off to a strong start until I was in guitar class. In guitar class, we weren't doing much, so I was studying for my physics final. Physics was not going so well. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was trying to learn how to vector component add. Yup. I don't know what it is either. After school on Thursday, I also went to retake a physics test so that maybe I'd have a little leeway if I failed my final, you know? And on that section of the test, I bumped my grade from a 50 to a 66. So very quickly, my hopes were dropping. I told my friend Alex that I would go to his baseball banquet Thursday night to, you know, support him, be a good friend, watch him get awards. And I thought this would take like an hour and a half, you know. But no, the coach talked about each individual baseball player for like 10 plus minutes. I did not get home till 10 o'clock, and Friday I had my 2 hardest finals. This means I didn't start studying till about 10:15, and I was naturally exhausted. Hey vlog, it's about 11 o'clock and I'm trying to study physics. And the thing is, I'm doing my study guide and I am just not getting any of the questions right, which is making me angry and kind of sad, and I'm considering just going to bed, or I could like stay up all night and suffer through it, but I feel like that's pointless and self-destructive and will ruin my whole day tomorrow. But I have my really hard algebra final tomorrow too, which I should study for. I'm so tired. I will keep you posted unless I fall asleep. So Friday really was not an exciting day for me. Physics and algebra and science and math, I can't do to save my life. Good morning. Well, is it a good morning? No. Today is doomsday. I have my physics and my algebra final. My dad just quizzed me on all my physics stuff and I did not do so hot. So not doing well, to say the least. This is just not gonna be a good day. So my first final was physics. The final was like 70 or 80 questions and a lot of them were multiple choice, and I was like, okay, you know what? It's multiple choice, I can do it. And then I flipped to the ends and there were all these word problems that I didn't know how to do. I have a feeling I did not get many of those last questions correct. In the end, it ended up being fine. I got an 80% of the final. Not the end of the world. Didn't go that well though. My second final was algebra, as I mentioned. Algebra and we just don't get along. I can't do algebra, algebra can't do me. We just kind of bump heads. So I went to take the algebra final and it was like a little too easy. I was one of the first people done, which was very concerning. So I left the algebra final feeling kind of good. Like, I think I did well on that. And then he graded it and I got a 75%. So fortunately, this was only part 1 of the algebra final, so this was really only 10% of my grade instead of 20% of my grade, but you don't care. Moral of the story, didn't go as good as I thought. Kind of lowered my confidence a little. So then we had had the long Memorial Day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I did some fun, relaxing things, you know. Got my nails done, ate a lot of yummy food, and then I ate one not so yummy thing. Sunday night, something a little bit tragic happened. My parents were out of town for the weekend, you know, like a little Memorial Day getaway with my brother. So I was staying home with my aunt. Some background for you. I have a severe, deathly allergy to peanuts and tree nuts. This is important. Remember that. Sunday morning, my aunt and I went to this breakfast place that I love because they've always told us that everything there is nut free because the chef has a peanut and tree nut allergy like me, so I feel safe eating there. We ate breakfast there and everything was fine. It was really yummy, and I got a little cake pop to go. So later that night, my aunt and I went out to dinner, and we came home, and I had been saving this little cake pop for like dessert. So I eat this little cake pop, and immediately my mouth and my throat just sort of start to itch, and my eyes get really swollen and puffy and bloodshot. Now I also started to feel nauseous and just like awful, but I just thought like I had food poisoning or something. Like, I've never gotten food poisoning. This could be food poisoning, you know? My whole body just turned like bright red. You know how it feels when your face turns red when you're embarrassed? My whole body felt like that. But I was like, you know what? I probably have food poisoning. Not a big deal. Everybody gets food poisoning. So here I am, you know, sitting on the bathroom floor, hovering over the toilet because I think I'm gonna throw up. And I look down at my leg that's feeling a little itchy, and I have some hives. So my aunt and my sister take me to the emergency room. If you haven't caught on, I was in anaphylactic shock. I was having a life-threatening allergic reaction. Never in my 15 years of life have I had an allergic reaction that I can remember. I had one when I was like a toddler, and that's how my parents figured out that I was allergic to nuts, but I don't remember that obviously. And I've never had to get an EpiPen. EpiPen, you get a shot when you have an allergic reaction and it makes you like be able to breathe and whatever. Okay, I don't like needles. So I was on the phone with my mom on the way to the ER just saying, I don't want an EpiPen, I don't want an EpiPen, I don't want them to give me needles, like so scared. Not even of the fact that I was probably dying, but of the fact that I had to get shots. We're walking into the front doors of the ER, and I stop and I say, I'm gonna throw up. So here I am standing outside of the emergency room just like gagging and like dry heaving until my aunt was like, okay, are you ready to go in? So we go in, and at the front desk they're like asking for my name and whatever. I tell them my name, my birthday, whatever, and I say, can they see me right now? And this guy behind the front desk is like, what? I said, can they see me right now? And this guy says, what are you asking? What do you mean, what am I asking? I have full body hives and I'm freaking out asking, can they see me right now? I think it's pretty clear what I want. Anyway, they take me back. I see these very nice doctors and these nurses, and they're giving me pills and pills and pills, and then it's time for the epinephrine shot, which basically is supposed to get rid of all my allergic reaction symptoms. They give me the shot, and this epinephrine is pure adrenaline, so I was like crazy. I was so hyper and like slap happy.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your first allergic reaction?
Like, is 1 bad?
Yeah.
Then maybe like an 8. Like, it was a pretty fun experience. Actually, maybe a 7.5. 7.5, because I was feeling pretty miserable for a while, and I did almost throw up outside the hospital, like sounded possessed, just dry heaving into the ground. But now I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little shaky because they gave me an EpiPen, but honestly, not the worst thing that could have happened.
So after they gave me the first EpiPen, they told me that although it's uncommon, sometimes people have rebound reactions after getting the first EpiPen. They were like, it probably won't happen, it just happens sometimes. Well, guess what? I had not 1, not 2, but 3 rebound reactions. That means I had a total of 4 EpiPens over the course of 6 hours, lots of steroids. It was crazy. Every like hour and a half, I would just get hives again and be like, oh, time for another one. So after the second EpiPen, about 2 a.m., they admitted me to the hospital and made me stay overnight. At about 4 a.m., my aunt woke me up and all the doctors were in my room, and they were like, oh, yep, it's happening again. That was scary. They were all telling me that my lips were swelling up and my face was red, and obviously I couldn't see that. I was laying in a hospital bed and I was half awake. So I'm freaking out. They're giving me another EpiPen. It's taking them forever. I'm scared. I can't breathe. I'm like, okay, I'm over this. I don't want this to happen again. Let's stop having allergic reactions. So they gave me another EpiPen and I was fine. I went back to sleep, whatever. So my mom gets to the hospital about 7 a.m. after driving all night from her vacation. While I'm asleep, apparently, she called the place where I got the cake pop from and she asked about it. They told her that it had peanut butter in it. It was a chocolate salted peanut butter cake pop. So my mom tells me me later that she's on the phone with these people, hysterical, crying to them. And the people at the restaurant said that the cake pops were labeled. First of all, why would I order that if it was labeled? So I was feeling a little better the next day.
Hey vlog, still in the hospital, in case you're wondering. I had to stay overnight because I had the first allergic reaction and then I had 3 more. It's the next day and hopefully I get to go home later, but I'm kind of scared because I just like keep having allergic reactions. I have my second part of my algebra final tomorrow, but you know, I got a little busy, so I haven't studied. Okay, catch you at school tomorrow.
So as I mentioned, I wholeheartedly thought I was gonna have to go to school the next day and take part 2 of my algebra final. My mom was like, no, you don't have to go to school. So Monday evening, they let me leave the hospital and I came home and I just went to sleep. So Tuesday I stayed home and I worked on missing art projects that were due on Tuesday for art class, and I studied for algebra a little bit. It was kind of hard for me to get anything done because the doctors had me on so much Benadryl, and if you've never taken Benadryl before, it makes you so drowsy, like I knock out so quick. I was napping because I was taking it every 6 hours, so I was just, you know. I was still kind of scared of having a rebound reaction at this point, so I was a little more stressed about that than I was about my finals. So Wednesday, I was back at school. It's Wednesday and I'm going back to school today, but I'm not even a little bit ready for my history or my German final today because, you know, I've been like sleeping and like trying not to die. Now, I kind of forgot about my German final and kind of didn't study very much for my German final. I can barely like grasp grammar in English, so grasping it in another language and then not studying for what I need to know, that was bad, a bad mixture. I had to like conjugate pronouns and stuff and I just did not know how to do that. Not my best work. So after German, my second final was history. History is by far my favorite subject. I love learning about history. My final was over World War II. I was gonna read my textbook, do my study guide, whatever over the long weekend, but you know, got a little busy. A lot of the questions on this final were written response, and so I got a lot of hand cramps. I wrote a lot. I fell asleep the night before with headphones in and my history book like reading out loud to me because I was hoping maybe while I was sleeping my brain would just like retain all the information I needed. It did not. So Thursday, today, my first final period this morning is guitar, but I didn't have a final in guitar class, so I took my algebra part 2 instead. I was in this class with like a bunch of juniors, which is kind of scary. So as I was taking this test, I was like, oh my god, I don't know any of this. I tried to study Wednesday night, but like, I thought I did so poorly, but I got my grade back and I got a 22.5 out of 22, which means I got over 100% on that part of the final. I'm kind of thinking that was a mistake, or my teacher just felt really bad for me because I was in the hospital all weekend. Either way, it went better than I thought. And then my last final of freshman year was my English part 2. I had to handwrite my Crucible essay on a piece of notebook paper and my hand was cramping beyond belief, but now school is over. It is summer. I'm so excited. Here's what I learned from my freshman final week. Number 1, peanut butter is bad. Peanut butter is the worst substance known to man. I will hate it forever. I think it should be banned. The second thing I learned this week is writing is hard. Handwriting a bunch of questions and essays, that hurts. My hand is cramping. I think I have carpal tunnel. And the final thing I learned this week is final stress is not worth it even a little bit. After I had my allergic reaction, I was way more stressed about having a rebound reaction and having to go back to the hospital or like dying than I was about any of my finals. Finals are really serious and I was so stressed about them until I almost died. I really thought academically this week was gonna go a lot worse and I was gonna have mental breakdown after mental breakdown, but instead I just had an immune system breakdown and it kind of put things in perspective for me. So anyway, that was my finals week. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, show your friends. If you know somebody who's struggling from finals, show them that I almost died. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time when hopefully I'm on way less allergy drugs. Bye.